What is up, Home League Pod, where there is no you in league. Welcome back to another episode, week 13, 2 weeks away from seeing our new playoff bracket. We've got one more eliminated team. We've got another team to top the standings. We've had some interesting matchups last week. You're either kind of getting your ass kicked or kicking ass. So we'll get into those. We'll bring up the rundown. A bit of a different episode for us today. We've got a slightly shorter episode. We've got our week 12 results. We'll talk our prediction leaderboard. We'll look into crowns and clowns. We'll get into the fraud watch and median score. We will have another segment of rapid fire questions, bro. But no booms and busts. We couldn't quite get that coordinated with the guests this week. It's a holiday week. Things are busy. Things are down to the wire. But I will take us through a schedule preview for the next couple of weeks. We'll look at what everybody needs to happen to get the number one seed, to maybe make the playoffs, to miss the playoffs. We'll go through it all. But without further ado, let's get into the results. All right, so like I said, you're either kind of getting your butt kicked or you were kicking butt last week. We'll start with the first one. Up on the board here, you've got myself versus Ryan. Josh Allen on Thursday night goes for only 8 points. Not going to get the job done. On the other side, Ryan has Chase Brown with another week, over 100 yards on the ground. He has Juwan Jennings find the end zone, and then obviously he has Jackson Smith and Jigba go for 8 catches, 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sam Darnold was also there at QB. So Ryan takes it away, pushes himself up to 7-5, while I fall to 8-4. Our next matchup, we had Jimmy against Nick. Nick looking to keep a strong end-of-season push going, but unfortunately, Jimmy and Jahmyr Gibbs had other things to say. Jahmyr Gibbs for 46.4 fantasy points. He had 3 total touchdowns, over 225 yards. I think that was his second game with similar statistics. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson quietly has a pretty bad game. Fortunately for Jimmy on Nick's side, really outside of Caleb Williams, nobody else has a productive day. Jacoby Myers has a touchdown. But that would be the only touchdown scored by Nick's team. Moving on, we've got Jesse versus Evan. Another rough matchup for Evan. A good stack from Hunter Henry and Drake May. But outside of that, no big production. Jordan Addison with 0 catches for 0 yards. And Pearsall with another rough outing. On Jesse's side, just enough from Trevor Lawrence and Ashton Genty, along with Jalen Warren to push ahead of Evan. Parker Washington also had a decent day, found the end zone again for the Jaguars. Moving on to another closer matchup, but not quite. We had Steve versus Glenn. Glenn came out with Matt Stafford, had another great day. James Cook had a great day. Quinshon Judkins kind of found his spot again, scoring 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Browns. A.J. Brown explodes for over 100 yards and a touchdown against Dallas. And then Travis Etienne continues to have a decent season, another receiving touchdown and over 80 yards on the ground. On Steve's side, Patrick Mahomes somewhat bounced back, not too crazy, but 17 points from him. Jonathan Taylor slows down again. Amon-Ra St. Brown has a great day with 9 catches, 140 yards and a touchdown. DJ Moore also getting 2 touchdowns, but just not quite enough against Glenn's team this week. On next team, our third highest score, Dan for the week. Jalen Hurts, 30 points against Dallas, and then Emmanuel Wilson gets the nod for Green Bay and makes the most of it, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns. After that, Bill really just didn't have enough. Jacoby Brissett has an okay day. Christian McCaffrey, another good day, but just not enough overall without Achane, without a couple other guys. Drake London was also out for Bill, so he does not continue that win streak. It finally ends, I believe, at 6 games, so he falls to 6-6, while Ned pushes up to 7-5. And then our last matchup, Brendan stays alive, goes to 5-7. He beats Tyler on the back of George Pickens. Once again, goes for a very similar stat line to last week, 9 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown. And then Wan'Dale Robinson also goes for a long touchdown and has 156 yards. Darnell Mooney also found the end zone. So Brendan does enough to take it away from Ty, goes to, again, 5-7, while Ty falls to 7-5. All right, let's go over to our prediction leaderboard. Another kind of interesting one. We had Steve 2 for 6 on the matchups, and then Steve went 3 for 6 on the anytime touchdown. I think it was made a Ted Road on score. Who knows? But Steve got 3 for the anytime touchdowns, pushes up just 1 under Jimmy, who had 4, and goes to 2nd overall. So good job to Steve there. All right, we have our clowns and our crowns next. Jimmy takes it overall crown of the week, 114 points. Dan takes it for QB with Jalen Hurts at 30. Jimmy on Jahmyr Gibbs gets it for running back, Brendan with George Pickens and Wan'Dale Robinson takes it for wide receiver, and Evan takes it for tight end and flex. Ironically, Evan takes the clown for team total score, and Jimmy takes the clown for QB score. I have it for running backs with who? Rodney White, Rashad White, Bajal Tootin. Who is my running back? I don't know. And then obviously Saquon Barkley with another rough week. Evan takes it for wide receiver. We talked about Jordan Addison. And then Dan takes it for tight end and flex. Moving on to Fraud Watch. So we've got Glenn sitting at 8-4, myself at 8-4. I have the slight disadvantage on the median scoring record, so I am at 15-9. He's at 16-8. Tyler is also at 16-8. Ryan joins me at 15-9 after beating me last week with a solid score. Jimmy at 14-10. Dan at 11-13, slightly different than his 7-5 record relative to the other 7-5 teams. Bill at 16-8 with Tyler and Glenn, but 6-6. Steve falls to 6-6 and 13-11. And then meanwhile, our final few teams here at 5-7, sitting around 4-8 and 3-9, and then 15-9, 7-17. So there are our median score records. And then let's see if I updated the bar graph. I did. All right. So our next median score this week was only 80.6. So a little bit of a downturn, although kind of see you got a couple of down weeks and then it goes up, and then you got a couple of down weeks and then it goes up. So who knows? Maybe we are in for another 90 week where you got to be scoring a lot of points. We will see. So like I said, we could not get our touchdown predictions in this week. Try our best to coordinate with our guests on the show, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. No matter how much lead time or simplicity you ask for, it just doesn't get done. You know, you guys, 10 out of 10 people do it. And then there's always going to be one that, it's impossible. It can't get done. So no predictions there. But I will go through our schedule kind of away from when predictions will matter anyway, or will be fun. We're all pretty locked in on what needs to happen. But that being said, I will send us over to Brendan's segment where he talks fire questions, and we get some much needed news. I'll leave it at that. So without any more introduction, here he is, our current champion, Brendan.
Laptop or your phone?
My laptop.
Oh, then you're good to go. It's already in there. I just didn't know if you're going to use your phone. So if you're going to use your phone, I just didn't mean turn it on its side instead of leaving it vertical.
All right. But, so you want me to just do the rankings and the answer your fucking questions?
Wait, what? What was the first part?
Do you want me to do the rankings and just answer your questions?
If you want to do a power rankings, you can. But no, I really just have to answer the questions. And then text me your predictions, and I'll put that into the other stuff that I've been posting in the videos. But you really just gotta answer the questions. So, but if you want to do anything else or talk about anything else, feel free.
All right, I'll figure it out.
I'll put some graphics up over you or near you.
All right.
All right, I will. Just send it to me whenever you get it. And if you want to email it to me, just send it to it's HomeLeagePod, but there's no U. At Gmail.
Yeah, you're going to have to text me that, bud.
I got you.
Alrighty. Come on.
All right. Good luck, brother. Don't take it too serious.
I don't.
All right, good. Bye.
What a loser. Okay. So, I haven't listened to one of these, if anybody's watching, which I'm sure a lot of you aren't. Yeah, I haven't listened to any of these, actually. I actually gave it a go last time, and then Jack's voice is very nasally.
It sounds like he's talking like this. I'm a liberal bitch.
Anyways. Okay, so. This guy want me to do. Rapid fire questions. Sure. How he said you don't have to read these; they're gonna be on the screen, buddy. I'm not gonna memorize this. How much of fantasy football success can be attributed to luck? I am one of 3 two-time league winners of all time. At 10 years, you have the largest gap in between championships among the two-time winners. So, yeah, I won the first year, and I won last year. And just two completely different people. You know, man? I think that I think a lot of luck has to do with it. I call it destiny. I think that God has a plan for us all. And his favorite way to show it is through fantasy football. But yeah, I don't fucking know. I was watching Lord of the Rings. I was in a good headspace last year to win it all, baby. I'm the fucking man too. It's all good. Okay. Was George Pickens the steal of the draft in 2025? I don't fucking know. George Pickens is currently ranked as the number 2 wide. Oh shit! The number 2 wide receiver based on our league settings behind JSN. You drafted him as the first selection in the 6th round. Yeah. Apparently. You fucking I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't want to draft this guy. I knew that he was going to be there. But he is... he's a... how should I put this? He's definitely a B, which is okay. There's a lot in the league. He was on my team last year as well. And so obviously, I was watching him. I had my eye on him and knew that the athlete that he can be. But particularly, I don't think that CD Lamb is all that. I mean, the guy's name is CD Lamb. You tell me. So who do you think is most likely to be displaced? I'm sure that has a D at the end of it. You can just see it up at the screen. Ding! In the standings, at 5 and 7, you need to win you need back-to-back wins in the final weeks to have a chance of making the playoffs. 0 teams have clinched a playoff berth as of week 12. Bill and Steve, I think, right? I just started paying attention to this week last week when I had a chance. When my percentage went from 2% to 6%, that's when I started paying attention. Displaced, yeah, I got to beat Steve. I need Bill to lose. Danny can lose. Or I think it might be Ned versus Jimmy. So that's good. That bodes well for me, actually. I don't think I have a chance, to be honest with you. But... I'm just happy to see my friends have fun. Okay. Question number 4. Who would have made the biggest positive impact for your team had they stayed healthy? Your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks missed a combined 26 games. And I also lost Scatabo in week 8. I mean, Joe Burrow is the obvious answer. He's a quarterback. It's good to see him back. Scatteroo hurt the most as a Giants fan, if I'm being honest with you. But also Bucky, I knew that I was drafting Bucky even during the season last year. I was just... Instagram labeled me a Bucky Irving worshiper, and I'm all down for that. So... Bucky hurt the most. Bucky was the most cost-worthy, but Scattaboo hurt the most. And Joe Burrow, fucking to be expected, fucking pussy. Last question. Has Dan returned the Jersey grandmother? A wonderful lady. You have a cousin, Dan. I don't know. But hang on. Call Grammy. His father actually just called me to go... don't worry about it. I had to do a favor for Ned.
Hello.
Hey, Graham.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Brendan.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm with a couple buddies, and we're wondering if Danny ever returned his chairs.
You're what?
I'm with a couple buddies, and we're wondering if Danny ever returned your chairs.
No, he did not.
He did not.
No.
Unbelievable.
I have to get a hold of him because I'm going to need them for Saturday night, and I'm sure Brian might be needing them too.
I'm sure he will be soon.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
I know, it really is, because I did ask him to.
Well, you know what? I'll try and urge and push him to. But you know how he is these days. You can't get a hold of him, and if you do...
I haven't seen him in so long.
I mean...
But I want my chairs.
You're preaching to the choir. You know, I'm sorry you haven't seen your grandson, but you're right. Your chairs are most important.
Right, absolutely.
Well, that's all we were wondering, so thank you for answering.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
Oh, no, all good. I'll see you in 2 days. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, actually, at Ryan's.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be at Ryan's. Yeah, good.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'll see you there, hon. Thanks.
I'll see you then. Bye.
Okay, right, bye.
No, Danny has not returned the chairs. And I think that's all I have for you. After that, you know, great season, everybody. Glenn, Jack, Tyler, Steve, we'll see. We're all rooting for Jimmy, though, aren't we? Come on, Jim. Pull it together, guy. Nick, I don't think Nick has a chance anymore. I think that Nick needs a fucking participation award, though. Other than that, yeah. Good luck to all. Good night.
All right. Maybe the best segment we did with a guest. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Brendan. Shout out to our champ. But let's get into who's going to have a shot at being the next new champ in season 12. So I believe Jesse's eliminated. This for some reason is saying that he's not. Maybe he's not. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We're going to roll with it. We're going to see how it goes. So let's take a look. So Glenn and I are the only teams that kind of control our fate as it comes to the number 1 seed. If we win out, as long as we score more points than the other, he's got the advantage right now by 44 points. So I'll have to outscore Glenn by 44 and win, and even if he wins. So he's got the path right now to that bye. Everybody else with 7 wins, obviously right there, just takes a loss from myself or Glenn, and then obviously them winning out, or 2 losses that could also get into it, and then points become a factor. But let's look into who is going to be these 3 spots right here. So I would say that among the 7 and 5 teams, one of them is not making it, and then obviously one of the 6 and 6 teams is not making it. But I think one of the 7 and 5 teams could fall based on how the schedule is. So let's take a look. So we've got Steve versus, since Steve's out, let's see what Steve needs to get back in. So let's say that he beats Brendan, again, who would then pretty much be eliminated. A Steve win will also officially eliminate Jesse, although I think he's already out. So then we get into Jameer Katz versus Alvin and the losers, a.k.a. Dan. So let's go ahead and say, for Steve's sake, that Dan wins, because Steve will have more points than him, I believe. Okay, so Steve would get in, and at that point, let's just keep going. Let's say that Glenn wins. Let's say that we'll leave that for the end. Let's say that I win, and then he is not eliminated. So we'll go up, and we'll just say for now that Nick wins to help Steve out. So Steve is looking for Nick to win this week, and then between Bill and Tyler, he wants Tyler to win, because that will push Bill to 6 and 7. So this would get there. At this point, Dan could even clinch playoffs, Tyler could clinch playoffs, I could clinch playoffs, and Glenn would clinch a playoff spot. The first seed would not be locked up at that point. But again, this would help Steve. Let's take a look at helping Jimmy. So that would mean that Steve loses, Jimmy wins. Here, I believe he would want Bill to win. We'll give Evan the win, and actually, you know what? We'll even take away the win from Glenn, because Jimmy wants to get in. And then here, we'll give it to Nick still. So there, Jimmy can actually clinch as well. So I would still clinch, even with, I believe, a loss here. Yep, so if I lose and Ty loses, it looks like I will clinch a playoff spot. Bill would sneak up. and then Steve would be on the out. So right now that kind of makes me, maybe just because I did them first, we'll keep doing a couple more, but that would make me think that it is Jimmy and Steve that are kind of opposed, at least in this week. Let's take a couple more looks. Let's see about Tyler clinching. I think if Tyler wins, he's in. I'm already losing. Glenn's already losing. Let's see if Dan loses. Yeah, so there's a couple paths for Tyler to get there, but he just really kind of needs to win here. We can take a look at Nick to see if he can get in. He would need me to lose. He would need probably Bill to lose. He would need Jesse to lose, doesn't matter. And then he would need Dan to lose because Dan's got less points. And then he would want Brendan, I think, to lose. All right, so nobody, doesn't look like Nick can get back into the playoffs. Let's just go over one more to see if Nick can get in or what he needs. His path is probably pretty narrow. If this is boring, don't watch. I don't even know where Nick is. Okay, here he is. All right, so if he does that, he's not even in. He would need Dan to lose. Where's Dan? So I'd have to win. He would need Steve to lose. He'd need Ryan to lose. He would need him, and then so he really would have to score a lot of points. He's still back by 80. So Nick's season is effectively, I mean, it could definitely, you could outscore someone by 2 weeks by 80, but Nick has a pretty narrow path. So let's go back. Let's say that Ryan wins. Ryan, I think, has a pretty easy path. I think Ryan pretty much, let's say all these people win. So yeah, Ryan, the playoffs can be pretty much locked up. Oh wow, that's interesting. Okay, so if you stuck around, if this plays out where Ty wins, Glenn wins, Jimmy wins, Steve wins, and Ryan wins, and I win, I don't know if I said that already, I will lock in the number 1 seed. I don't quite know how, but I guess it would be by points. And then the playoffs would be completely locked in, and it wouldn't next week. Wait, am I looking at week 14? Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Let me clear these. Oh, man. Devastating. Okay, so let's say Steve wins. I'll have to cut all that. Maybe I'll leave it. Maybe people can just watch. Okay, here we go. Let's do Bill. Bill's pretty easy. I think he would need a lot of the good teams. I think he wants Dan. I think he wants Dan to lose. And he also wants Steve to lose. Probably wants me to lose. Definitely wants Glenn to lose. And then he wants probably Ryan to lose. All right, so with that, so again, there are some paths where Glenn and I lose this week, and we still clinch playoffs. Same thing with Jimmy, although Jimmy is winning here. So another path for Jimmy. Let's see if that changes it. Oh wow! So yeah, so if this played out, winner of Jimmy and Dan will clinch playoffs. So that's interesting. So going back, okay. So for Bill, I think he'll want Jimmy to win because he'll get pushed ahead of Dan. Let's go over. So Bill can clinch. Let's see how fast he can clinch it. Can he clinch it with just a win if that's how the previous week goes? Where is that guy? Yes, he can. Okay, so if this happens, and I'm sure maybe a few other things, Bill can control his own destiny next week. Let's see if that changes, though. Nope, at that point, we would have Bill in at the all the way at the number 2 spot, which is pretty crazy. You can see me fall down to 5 if this happens. Scary. All right. I don't really know what other scenarios. If you're looking for one, comment it in the comments. I'll go and take a look at it. So yeah, that's this is what the next couple of weeks look like. So yeah, playoffs. I mean, we could have a scenario as extreme as the playoffs are locked in this week. Oh no, I'm sorry, we can't have that. But we can have a lot of playoff spots locked in this week. We can have people lose and lock in playoff spots, and then next week we'll see where things are landing. All right, that wraps up this somewhat quick, somewhat kind of dragged out episode. But thank you very much for joining us again. Shout out to our commissioner. Shout out to our champ. I thought my mic was just muted. It's going to freak out. Shout out to everybody for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We've got one more week left. I will be back on the East Coast for this next episode. Maybe we'll do something special. We'll figure it out, and then we'll see. We'll see where the pod goes after the end of the regular season. But shout out to everybody else. Where am I? Can I some music? Here we go. There it is. There it's out. Goodbye. Good night. Comment, subscribe. See you later.